Здравейте, приятели! Вие гледате Zoom с мен Ванчела. Днес на гости са ни Psychedelic, които идват за пореден път в България, в София. И сега ще ни разкажат разни интересни неща за тяхното турне, с което отбелязват 20 години на сцената на хип-хопа. How do you feel to be again here in Bulgaria?
We're looking forward to coming back to Sofia because, every experience we've had over here in Bulgaria has been excellent. The food, the people, the city, always good for us.
Yeah, and not to say the least, the crowd at the shows, always energetic, always.
Always so intense. So how the tour is going so far?
Good. A lot of work, a lot of travel, but it's been going really good.
So after Sofia, where you will go?
After Sofia, we go to Greece, we do Thessaloniki, and then we do Athens.
And then?
To Romania to close out the European leg.
And after European, you told me that you will get back to LA?
We go back home for one day and then we fly to South America to keep the tour going till the end of the year.
Are you excited?
I'm always excited. This is what I do. I love doing this. So anytime we have a tour, anytime we have a show, anytime we get to travel, I get very excited, On top of that, it also feels good because we're celebrating 20 years of our first album, and that's a big accomplishment for us because, we're a so-called underground hip-hop group, So for us not to have, any commercial exposure and still be doing this 20 years later, it makes it even that much more exciting,
So you're having your 20th year on stage, being one of the legends of the hip-hop. Can you describe these 2 decades and what have they given to you? Have they taken anything from you? This is 2 decades.
Yeah, 20 years is, like I said, is a long time, and it's a recurring thing that we've been telling everybody in every city that we've hit on this tour, is Psycho Realm never had any support from commercial radio. From major radio, commercial, and major television. We've never had any support from outlets like that that make groups famous or known around the world. So for us to be celebrating 20 years is a big accomplishment, and it's totally because, absolutely because of the people that listen to Psycho Realm, and we're very grateful, we're very grateful for that, because it says a lot about, what how people could carry your music and keep it alive for so long,
Do you want to add something?
Well, I wish I could add more as far as like being a part of the album and describe that, but just being a pretty much an honorary member and being able to tour with Jack all these years and be able to perform the Psycho Realm, it's been an amazing experience, especially getting to learn Duke's style and trying to get it as perfect as he did. It's very interesting and very intriguing to be able to perform his parts for him.
You've always worked differently than the rest, not going for a big contracts and having your way of realizing art. So can you tell me how has the industry changed since the start of your career, and do you see any changes in music?
Yeah, well, there's pretty much no more music industry. Aside from what you see in the pop world, in the commercial world. When we put our record out in the late 90s, there was still, how could I say it? There was still you still had pride in your work. People were putting out music they wanted to put out and still being able to be part of the music business, where, now it's like if they make you feel like if you want to make money, you have to do what the trend is, because nobody's buying music no more. Nobody, the only way an artist is making money now is off of touring, merchandising, and licensing and things of that nature. Streaming doesn't pay you no money; it pays you practically nothing. But for us, when we released the first album 20 years ago, less than a year later, we told the record label we wanted to get off the label, we wanted to be independent. So by doing that, we were always able to do what we wanted to do, and we were never a part of the industry. We never had to play by the rules of the industry. We played by our own rules. So we still got to make the music we wanted to make. We still got to do whatever we wanted to do, presentation, packaging, content, artwork, imagery, what we spoke about, we talked about. we pretty much been in control of our own destiny, our whole crew. So for us, we wouldn't have it any other way because that's how we've been since we were kids. Nobody could tell us what to do. We're respectful people. We're, raised right. Our parents raised right. But when it comes to this music, we want to do what we want to do. No one, we dropped off the label because they wanted us to do 2 radio singles because they didn't want to promote and market our album like the classic way of marketing the records, promotion. They just wanted to pay a DJ and say, here, play this record on the radio, which we didn't want to do that. I don't want to make a fake record on the radio that's not my style just so you can have it easy and not have to work to promote my record. That's why we left.
We were also on the front line of the independent route of things because when Psycho Realm got off Columbia and they released their War Story Book 1 and 2 and also the Street Platoon album, we released it independently, and it was right at the time when like Napster was big and the whole streaming was starting, the internet was big, so that gave us an outlet to all the fans out in this part of the world and in Latin America who couldn't get the CD. It was a lot easier for them. So we've been doing the independent game for over 15 years, and whatever's left of the industry has kind of converted to the independent blueprint because records don't sell no more. So now whatever artists they do push, they have to tap into their merchandise, to their touring, and groups like ourselves and there's others, we've been making that money for a long time, and we don't have to share that with nobody. So even the pop artists of this day still really don't see much because there's so many people taking from them. So they work that much harder, they make that much less. And also a lot of these artists that you see that are independent really aren't. They have huge managers, huge management firms. So
They tell them what to do.
it's still the same thing. It just sounds nice. Oh, independent blueprint, but it's still the big guys that are managing them, pushing.
So we can say that the industry some kind corrupting the true art in music, right?
Yeah, but that's always been the case. There's always, the minute something becomes popular, whether it's music, art, anything, there's always a corporation or somebody that is a capitalist is going to come in and just kind of corrupt the art side of it and monetize it, And there's nothing wrong with that because there's people that are just going to jump in and do that, and there's people that want to listen to that kind of music, and that's cool. But then there's people that want to listen to some genuine music, some good, original art, and that's where we come in. We're here for you guys.
Okay, can you tell us the story behind your last year's album, Psychedelic? Do you produce all of the songs, and can you tell me more about it?
It's my first solo album, but yeah, I produced the whole record. I didn't have any outside features outside of the camp. It was only the crew being featured on it. My brother Duke, who can't rap, wrote like 5 or 6 choruses on the record. So it was, it's the closest thing you're gonna get to a Psycho Realm record today. Psychedelic is, because after my brother got shot, I started focusing. My brother was my front man, Big Duke was the front man for Psycho Realm. I was producing Psycho Realm and still rapping, but I had Duke, so he was my front man. When he got shot, I didn't have a front man, so I had to work on becoming the front man myself. And Psychedelic, over the years, we did Terror Tapes 1 and 2, which he did most of the production on. So it allowed me, we did The Legend of the Mask and the Assassin with DJ Muggs. It allowed me to just focus on my writing, my performance in the studio, just me being a frontman, like I said. And Psychedelic was when I felt, okay, cool. Now my vocal, me as an artist, I'm here. Now let me match that up with what my production is, and Psychedelic is the culmination of where I'm at right now, lyrically and production-wise.
I just saw your latest video as well, Cutlass Supreme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really do like it.
Yeah.
So can you tell me more about the video, more about this mobile? It's like really cool.
Yeah, Cutlass Supreme. I mean, Cutlass Supreme it started out in the United States being a luxury car. There was a couple of cars like that were luxury cars originally, but over the years they got into the neighborhoods and they were like gangster cars, And Cutlass Supreme, if that song, when I talk about it, it's a metaphor. It's just a symbol of how we grew up. Cutlass Supreme, when you saw those kind of cars coming down the block, it was always you were scared. You didn't know if they were going to shoot at you, or you didn't know who was in it, where they were from, or whatnot, right?
Yeah, and you were guaranteed to get pulled over by the cops if you were in one.
Yeah. So it's a big symbol of our era and our neighborhood in Los Angeles, and that song is just talks about that. It's nostalgia. It's talking about how we grew up and the symbolism and what we went through, and anybody that grew up how we grew up understands that. And anybody on the outside, I think, just kind of appreciates the story. The video, we got Big Tiny to shoot it. Big Tiny from Unauthorized Inc., who's our art director. Grew up in Orange County, which is the county next to Los Angeles, but grew up the same way. So he understood it completely and he captured it. I told him I wanted a black and white video, kind of like black and white photography. And I think he nailed it.
You never actually changed your style. You're strictly hip hop, always been. So what is your opinion about the newest artist and new kind of hip hop? Is this a hip hop or not?
Yeah, there's good and bad music in every era. There's good and bad, but now hip hop is pop music now. So there's good and bad pop music. I mean, that's always been the case. There are good artists that my kids get into my car, they take over my radio, they play music. I'll tell them to change certain things, but a lot of stuff I'll be like, that's cool. Okay, I like this guy, I like this guy. But it's music is always going to evolve. It's never going to stop growing. It's never going to stop changing. And I like hearing new music. I like hearing old music. I like hearing new music. I like hearing different things. So as long as it's good, I'll listen to it. And that's just my opinion, though, because everybody, you like different music. I like different music. He likes different music. So everybody has their own opinion too.
And these kids that are coming out, the new hip hop artists, they are kids. They're 18, they're 19, they're 20. So they're making music for them and for the kids their age. So, the older crowd might not like it, but it's because it's not for them, It's for the kids. So like he said, there's good and bad in it, Maybe their standard of lyrics isn't the same, but we live in a time where you would expect that. Everything's fast music, fast food, everything quick. Here today, gone tomorrow. So that's where it's at.
Sick Jack, and you made a lot of collaboration with Be Real, work a lot with him, and also have an appearance with his solo album. And do you plan to work with him again soon, maybe, or have tour with him?
Yeah, Be Real. I mean, I'm always gonna work with Be Real. He's the man responsible for putting Psycho Realm out and putting us out into the world. The reason why we were heard so much in the beginning was because he got behind the project. He actually became a member of the group for the first album, and he's a big reason why we were known so much in the world so quickly. For his solo album, we did Psycho Realm Revolution. I rapped on the song, I produced it, and then we're always off and on working. The last thing we did was he came out on a song on a project I just did called War Porn Industries with Everlast and Divine Styler. We did a video for it. It's a self-titled song with War Porn Industries, and Be Real's a monster. He's a beast on the mic, so it's always good working with him. Keeps me on my toes.
Yeah. You're just like family, right?
Yeah.
So you travel a lot and see a lot of different audiences. Can we say that there is a difference between the audiences in the different countries?
For the most part, I think the energy is the same because the music makes people feel the same way. Everywhere we go, mosh pit, people start, and you don't really see that in rap shows. It's more in rock shows, but in Psycho Realm shows, you always get certain songs, just people start doing the slam pit, So it's always the intense energy at our shows, and you see it in certain countries when we're appearing for the first time, and they haven't seen us perform. A lot of the time, people kind of just get stuck, and they just oh wow, they're here, and then they'll loosen up a little bit. But you get different reactions, Amsterdam, everybody's high. So everybody's into it like this, the whole time. But
yeah. Norway and places like Denmark, they're kind of the same. They're more chill, kind of like Amsterdam. But also the vibes they're there. But like you said, some places are more intense than other. Like you go to South America, like Chile, for example, and They're
Hot blood.
they're almost as intense as LA. Very close. The last time we were here at Psycho Realm in Bulgaria, I remember the energy was insane. We shut down the power. The power went out in the club in the middle of the set because everybody was rock. Yeah, so
Explode.
yeah, we blew out the circuit.
Yeah. Yeah, the energy in the room blew out the power, and it's an exchange. For us, it's we come out and we give that energy, and the people give it back to us. So it's just the whole show is a ceremony. It's an exchange of energy. And that's just, sometimes it just gets crazy.
So after the tour, I suppose that you will be inspired a lot. So do you plan to get back in the studio and to make some music maybe?
January, because it's a slow month for everything in all the business that we do. I want to get in the studio and work on some music in January. Yes.
I'm inspired now. I got my beats, my stuff set up in the room. I'm making beats already on the airplane, hotel.
He's on the airplane making music.
Yeah. You just got to take advantage of the energy. When you feel it, you just have to do something, Sometimes because you're tired, right? But when you feel the energy and the adrenaline's going, you just have to take full advantage of it, Got to capture it.
Yeah, capture the moment.
Yes, always.
Sick Jacket from the sick-ass Psycho Realm.
Your man Cynic, Street Platoon.
Right here in Bulgaria, baby. You're watching The Voice TV.